So Gordon, we're out here in the field now where we're going to complete our first site or our first soil health assessment on this part of the field. And you know, just looking at the Cropland Infield Soil Health Assessment Worksheet, which is composed of just a few sheets here, we have quite a bit of data or quite a bit of information on this first sheet. So we can see that we're looking for different resource concerns, and that's the whole premise behind this worksheet, is to see if we can identify that one of these 4 resource concerns are here. We have, we're going to look to see if we can identify compaction, see if we can identify soil organic matter depletion, aggregate instability, or see if we can find that there's been a loss of soil organism habitat or degradation. So we can also see on the left-hand side of this soil health assessment sheet that we have plenty of room that we can indicate or identify where we're completing this point.
Yeah, I got that.
So we have location, field or conservation management unit, track, customer client, the plan that we're working on, the date, soil map units, which this was identified as
Orangeburg,
Loamy Sand. And different ways we can identify that would either be through a soil web app, your current published
web soil survey
map, or if you have a hard copy of soil survey, you could identify that, or you could even identify this through that Land PKS app as well. We would also want to indicate soil moisture that is here, and then the surface horizon texture. So
how do we know soil moisture?
Soil moisture, of course, once we dig our hole, we'll actually identify the moisture there. And then based off of that data we got from that interview, we could take some of that things into consideration as well. Since we know that this is mapped as an Orangeburg, from that web soil or Land PKS or other soil survey data, we can actually find out that horizon texture, that surface horizon texture as well. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 11 different indicators here that we'll actually be looking at, and they're each indicated whether the time that we would want to look at, indicating timing and use, and then it also shows the resource concerns that particular indicator is going to identify if it's there or not. So we can complete that indicator and also indicate our finding if it meets the assessment criteria, yes or no. So it's just a simple yes or no question. We're not having to come up with any numerical values for this. So we'll look first, we can just kind of follow these these tests just straight down the list. So the first one is soil cover. And we look at the indicator time and use. Of course, it shows any time. And the resource concerns the potential resource concerns we may be looking for would be soil organic matter depletion, aggregate instability, and soil organism habitat loss or degradation. So in looking at soil cover, we've identified the timing and the resource concerns. We only need to look at the criteria in order to answer that yes or no question. So the question is, surface cover from plants, residue, or mulch cover greater than 75%. And it's just an estimate. So we're standing here in a field that has living cover on it. We can rake back and see what we actually have on the soil surface. We can actually see from the interview that we did with the producer that we have some residue from last year's cover crop, from that summer cover crop that was planted following wheat. We can see some residue there. And you know, thinking of, since this is estimated, of course we're standing in cover that is nearly knee-high or higher. We're looking here at the soil surface. We had to physically rake back residue to even see the soil surface. So we can easily estimate that this is higher than 75%. So the answer to this indicator would be, of course, yes, it meets this criteria. So, you know, we're kind of in I ain't gonna say a unique situation, but we are in a situation to where we have a lot of cover here, but we may be doing this assessment on areas where there is not this much cover. So if we need more specific guidance on completing that indicator, we can go back to the fuller tech note, and it actually gives pictorial data on different amounts of residue that are represented by 25%, 50%, 75%, up to 100%. And you could compare those photos to what you're actually seeing in the field at that spot. If you wanted to get even more specific, you could do a line transect where you could count it every foot, either at 50 or up to 100, to see if you, to determine what percentage cover you have.
Gotcha.